Okay, so I am here with California Baptist head coach Derek Moore. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm great, James. How about yourself?
Not too bad. I'm sure the weather out there is a little nicer than what I'm looking at. We've got a thunderstorm going on right now.
Oh, yeah. Here in California, we're pretty blessed. The summers get warm, but when you get closer to the beach, it's pretty much perfect out there. Probably 80 degrees right now. Part of
Yeah,
living in Southern California. We pay for it, though. We pay for
yeah,
it.
absolutely. So we'll just kind of dive right into it. So for those who aren't aware, CBU recently last year was their first year officially competing at Division 1, and you guys run that transition program for a couple of years. Just talk about how it's been for you through that whole process.
Yeah, it's been a journey for sure. And actually, for us, this was our second year this last year.
Yeah.
We had our first year 2 years ago, and then last year was our first year we qualified guys to the national tournament. But I got brought on board out here by Coach Zaleski during our last year of Division 2, and then went through the 4 year transition where no postseason competition, no Big 12s, nothing. And then, yeah, the last 2 years have been really exciting for us. After going through that grind of building team culture, and waiting for the opportunity, we have found some really special young men to commit to being a part of helping us build this and enjoying and embracing that underdog story of a first-time Division 1 program. And to get two athletes last year to the national tournament was special. Was really exciting. It's really set a standard for our program and our guys. For it to finally pay off and to see the growth now that we have year after year in postseason, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun, and now we're excited for the upcoming year and just that continued growth along the way. We always want it faster. We want it to happen sooner, and I think we should have had Eli Griffin should have qualified for nationals 2 years ago in our first year, but unfortunately he broke his leg 4 weeks prior to the Big 12 tournament and wasn't able to compete. But overcame that, rehabbed well, and had a really solid year last year. And so having him and Hunter Leak at the Nationals was a lot of fun to see that singlet on that stage, see CBU out there in the third week of March was special. And then they competed hard. Hunter was a little bit banged up, definitely not himself. Eli had some really great wins, and so looking to build off that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and kind of what you talked about, I think I misspoke. That first year, 2023, you guys go from having one win at the Big 12 tournament to not just multiple guys getting wins, but like you said, those two qualifiers. Um, what was kind of the conversation with those guys coming into that tournament that year to year?
Yes, that was tough. That first year was really hard to go through that season. It was good to have one Big 12 dual meet victory, but then to go to the Big 12s and only score 1 point was really tough. And we had a lot of guys that were really broken down after that. I think the hype over the 5 years, really, of we're finally here, 4 years transitioning, and our fifth year at the end of the fifth year, we get to compete, and they just weren't quite ready for it. And so, afterwards, seeing them, in tears, a lot of them didn't accomplish their dreams. A lot of them, fell short. And the guys who could come back, Eli and Hunter and those guys, they made a serious dedication and commitment. They said, man, I don't ever want this feeling again. And so there was definitely a shift in the mentality there a bit. And having that experience of having gone to the tournament and competed in it really allowed them to feel more prepared and understand that this was just another tournament. And so Eli had a great season throughout the year. The Big 12 125 weight class, all conferences 125 weight class was just crazy last year. But he had some really good wins that allowed him to earn that bid, that wild card bid. And Hunter had a great matchup, and things felt really well for him, and he was able to qualify. So it was fun that last year going to that tournament, having multiple guys have wins there, go from 1 team point to 16 team points, massive growth and improvement. And so, yeah, it was a mental shift for those guys of not blowing it up as big as maybe we had, and bringing it back down to earth and saying just one match at a time.
That's awesome. I was at the Big 12s and I actually got to talk to Hunter right after that match where he got to qualify, and it really impressed me. Just in his first thing talking to him was talking about the team and the culture and just how much it meant, not necessarily for him even as an individual, but to be representing your team and your school. What is his kind of role on the team to become like that first qualifier for you guys?
Yeah, Hunter's a team leader for sure, and he's really grown as a young man. Yeah, he came to CBU, and there was and we've had a lot of conversations about it. He was young and struggled to keep the positive mindset, positive attitude. When things didn't go well, it would really frustrate him. And I think we all continue to grow in that area, but he's made massive growth there, and he really came to lean on his faith this past year. He was baptized earlier in the year and really was able to let go of a lot of the fears that come with the sport sometimes and trust God's plan in his life. And so reading Bible before dual meets, I think it really allowed him to relax and focus on what he could control. And so it's great to see him do that, be an example for the young guys, and to be our first ever NCAA qualifier through the tournament was special. We've talked about it for a long time. And so for him to go and accomplish that was really great. And I know the program's pretty proud of him, but he's really stood for what CBU stands for. And so then with Eli getting the bid and them being able to go together, it's great to have multiple guys there to share in that experience and chase it down together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hunter he was just so pumped, and talking to him, I was pumped and just so excited to see that happen for you guys. I want to talk about Eli too. That crazy 125-pound weight class. It felt like he was in a barn burner every single match just throughout the year, just against a ranked guy, unranked guy. It's just so entertaining. What's it like coaching someone who wrestles like that?
Yeah, Eli just competes so incredibly hard. He loves this sport of wrestling, and he wears it on his sleeve. And he comes from a very small school in Oklahoma, Castle Hall, and so to come out to California and be a part of this, even during the recruiting process, was like, hey, we want you to be one of the face of CBU, and go out and do some of the things for the first time. And he really bought in. And so when he goes out there, if I'm being honest, there's nerves. I never know what Eli's going to do, but I know that he's going to compete incredibly hard. And he's fast and he's strong. And so that's been our growth with him, is the technical aspect. But he is such a strong competitor out there. And you see him. Sometimes he just makes things up, And what was it, the finals match? And he didn't make this up, but Luke Stanich had a 2-on-1. He does a reverse spin and lands on his legs and takes him into overtime. Like, he's just creative and goes on how he feels, and it serves him really, really well because he has a strong wrestling IQ. And so it's a lot of fun. Knowing that he's going to go out there and compete and usually pump up the crowd and the team, and he's got an opportunity. He's got the ability to beat anybody in the nation, and so it's exciting this next year to see how he does.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, every match I feel like I watched was just so exciting and so much fun to watch. And I want to talk about, you have these standout individuals, and going from that 23 to 24 season, you get some transfers and some recruits coming in. You get 7 dual wins, first time since 2017, after just getting, I think, 3 in 2023. So as a team, that improvement, like, what kind of leads to that?
Constant evaluation and growth, really, as we figure out the team that we have. The new transfer portal, each year, your lineup, you could have 4 new faces, 5 new faces in the lineup. That's what we had last year. There were so many new faces in the lineup. Transfers like Dane Morton from Minnesota, Justin Phillips from Virginia, Nathan Haas from Nebraska. And so when they come in, figuring out who they are and how they're all going to come together and compete together. And I think this past year, we had 7 dual meet wins. We should have had more. We started a little bit slow, came together as a staff and made some adjustments, and then really started coming together as a team and competing really well and feeling better prepared after the first of the year. And so that was really great to see. And I think it's tough when you've struggled as a team to get dual meet wins for so long to start to build that confidence, because sometimes dual meets can get away from you one match after another. But going out and beating Air Force, beating Utah Valley, beating some of these Big 12 D1 programs, and at the time I think Air Force was ranked as a top 20 individual at the NCAA tournament program. And so it's been great, getting to know these guys, getting to know what motivates them, and them buying into the process of just do your part as an individual, and good things are going to happen for this team.
So you talked about the transfer portal, when all these changes are being made with the portal, and you're seeing smaller guys go to other school, or small school guys go to other schools and things like that. At the same time, I think I talked to Mark Branch of Wyoming. I think his team is another one that kind of does this, where they really kind of pick some guys up from the portal that play key parts. So, being a smaller school, do you feel like the portal is still like a plus for you guys, like an opportunity more so?
It's a double-edged sword for sure. For mid-majors like us with our resources, we can recruit those individuals that are bigger programs that are behind All-Americans that want a chance to be at the national tournament. And so in that sense, the transfer portal for sure is a plus, giving us that opportunity to pick up the Nathan Haas's and the Dane Mortons and those individuals who've just been behind really tough guys and want their opportunity. At the same time, it's tough because you can recruit a Mitchell Messenbrink to your program, and there's going to be a lot of money when your guy goes and wins a world title or places top 2 in the world. And so, it's a landscape that we're in, and we have to find a way to compete in it. And I have to find a way to fundraise or build relationships such that athletes want to stick around and stay as they find success. And I've been, I'm excited to have both Hunter and Eli coming back, and the other guys that we have for this year up ahead.
So kind of talking on that, despite you guys only somewhat recently entering the official Division I scene, your recruiting has been great. You were for Intermat rankings honorable mention in 2023, this season up to number 24. Talk about just kind of recruiting both as the mid-major program, but also being one of the few wrestling schools in a state like California.
Yes. I think we have a lot of attractive things here at CBU as a program for the athletes and for the families. Obviously being a faith-based school is a different student and student athlete experience. A lot of the distractions that can come from other programs, you're not going to have those as much here. And so we keep the priorities our priorities. And so for families and parents, I think that goes a long ways. When it comes to the athlete, it's about finding the right individual that wants a faith-based student-athlete experience. And there's no requirement, but faith is definitely a part of the student experience. The students attend chapel. We pray with our guys after each practice, and it's something that we continue to pour. I continue to pour. My staff continues to pour into our athletes to help them grow athletically, academically, and spiritually. And I think there's a lot of young men that are looking for that. And so also, Eric Morrill is my recruiting guru. He is he's a road warrior, and he's so great at it, and he loves it. And so working with him, he's got some great relationships. He's been allowed us to pull in some tough young men. And I think, California, our goal is to keep the California elite here in California. I think all California schools want to do that, and it's starting to happen more and more as each program starts to build. So to have individuals like Sonny Kling stick around in California and be a part of this. He's right in our backyard, 15 minutes down the road. Paul Kelly from Poway, who's now just took second and third at Fargo and second in state after third last year. David Alonso, top 3 of state. So to keep these California elite individuals here in Southern California near their families, near their schools, where they have that ability to stay connected with all of the people they're familiar with, is what we're looking to do. But also being a faith-based school, private school, it's the same price for everybody. So it allows us to branch out and go out to Ohio and get Jeremy Ginters or Cade Nolan from Nebraska. I just think that CBU is a special place. We're unique. We're very unique, and we don't try to be who we're not. And we're looking for individuals that want to be a part of who we are as a faith-based school that wants to chase down really, really big things on the Division I landscape.
That's awesome. You kind of talked about something I was going to bring up, where you look at your recruiting class and you don't just see California or that coast. You see Nebraska, Ohio, all sorts of places from around there. Like, it's very clearly all over the country, which is pretty cool to see for something like that. So with that honorable mention recruiting class in 23, are there any wrestlers that you kind of have waiting in the wings that fans should be looking out for?
We have a stud young man, I think 3-time state champ from Minnesota, Drayden Morton. Last year he stepped in the lineup and beat an NCAA top ranked guy, a top 30 ranked individual. And so really excited for him to come in and start to compete. Very athletic, very quick, very long, loves wrestling, breaks it down really, really well. So excited for him to step in the lineup. We've got some guys. 49 is kind of open. Paul Kelly definitely has a chance to step in there for us. Nathan Haas, he was with us last year, but we're expecting some big things from Haas this next year as he beat a few top 33 ranked individuals. He knows he's right there knocking on the door of getting to that NCAA tournament and seeing what he can do. I mean, he majored Ryder Rogotsky last year. And so those individuals, along with Eli and Hunter coming back, are going to be some of our heavier hitters that are going to help carry us to hopefully an even better dual meet record this year, and that postseason March timeframe out on the mat in Philadelphia.
That's awesome. I want to kind of take a step back and more national look. So you guys compete in the Big 12. And conferences these days are a complete mess. But how is it for you guys to be so far west? And the Big 12 is a lot of these Midwestern schools. You have your Wyoming and Utah Valley, but I mean, still not a lot of very close conference competition. Is that an added difficulty when it comes to competing in season with all that travel?
It is a little bit. We are blessed at CBU that the academics and athletics are very cooperative. So the professors, the deans, everyone understands the opportunity that our athletes have athletically. And it's not you need to prioritize athletics, you need to prioritize academics, but we need to work together to give the best student athlete experience. So when we do have conflicts, if they're a starter, the professors understand, okay, how do I facilitate this prior or before or during? And there's just a lot of flexibility there, which is a benefit. But still, it is hard when you're away a lot. I try to do more of the traveling during our off time in the winter as much as possible, but just it is what it is. We miss a good 15 days of school at least a year, which I don't think is unusual, whether you're in the Midwest or out west. But yeah, we have West Virginia on our schedule this year. I don't know who's choosing the Big 12, matchups, but we could have had someone a little bit closer. But yeah, it is what it is. It's great for our guys, though. They get to travel the nation. They get to see different places and facilities and experience. And so we make the most of it. And we, our guys, I'm blessed with really great student athletes who work really hard. We had our team best GPA last year on the season. It was above a 3.4. For the fall, we're above a 3.5. So they're finding a way to commit to both and do well at both. And so, I do what I can to try to schedule creatively and strategically. But yeah, the Big 12 spread out. We're all over the place. We have Arizona State coming to us this year, which is great. But yeah, we're going out to West Virginia, Utah Valley, Wyoming, Northern Colorado. They'll probably always be with us. And so, yeah, I love the Big 12. I love the brand. I love how they operate. And I think our guys enjoy it as well. And our administration does as well, knowing the program that the Power 5 conference. Because, yeah, conferences are a little wild right now.
Yeah, I was just kind of mulling over that earlier today and just thinking about how spread out outside of Stanford. I think being in the ACC now, you guys being out there, and you in West Virginia may be the furthest apart schools outside of that when I was thinking about it.
Yep, for sure.
So now kind of looking forward to the upcoming season. You talked about some of the duels and whatnot. What for you and your guys, are there any set expectations from last year? Or is it just continue to grow and continue to improve?
Yeah, our mentality is control what you can control, and the results you can't always control. We're always shooting to do, as well as we can, get on that podium at NCAA's. And we've got guys that I believe can make that happen. And so it's just a constant conversation about who's going to be the first, who's going to embrace this and enjoy it. And I think we have guys that can make it to that podium, and that's my goal for them, and it's their goal for themselves. But at the same time, it's one day at a time, right? It's just focus on what you can control, getting better in certain positions and areas, adding to your arsenal, and enjoying the process as it goes. And so, yeah, we're actually have a team bonding event next weekend. We're going up to Big Bear. We'll go camping for a couple of days. It's always fun over the summer. There's always a few guys that have never been camping, so that's always great. And then we go out to the beach with the team at the very beginning, the first couple of weeks, and that's when we're going to kind of do our fellowship and goal setting and really talk as a team of what is it you guys want to do. But I know that they're excited to get back out there and get that CBU singlet back out to the national tournament and be there on day 3 and seeing what they can do.
That's awesome. I can't wait for this season and see what you guys do. To kind of cap things off here, if you were talking to a college wrestling fan, what would you tell them kind of about your program, selling your program to them as a fan, why you should be watching CBU and what to look out for?
Yeah, for those general fans that are out there looking, CBU is a unique story, a really, really special story of a program that has been sitting out for the last 4 years and now has an opportunity for All-Americans and national champs. And, we're supported by some amazing people in beautiful Southern California, which, California can get a bad rap when it comes to certain things. But when we have families visiting and seeing what this institution stands for, our athletics department, our motto is to honor Christ through excellence in athletics. And that's my vision for the program, is to build a nationally elite program that glorifies God through the actions and success of our athletes. And we have some very special young men on the team that have some really great stories as well. And we're going to be trying to beat the best every single time. Last year we had Iowa out here with over 4,700 fans in the stands. Southern California is hungry for an elite Division I program, and we're excited to be that program for them. This year, we're going to start the year off November 1st, 7:30 p.m. in the Event Center against another Big Ten opponent, Indiana University. So anybody in Southern California or within a few hours, mark your calendar. Come on out. Let's sell out 5,000 fans in the Event Center and have some fun. Start this year off with a bang. But yeah, keep an eye on those guys. It's going to be another fun year of growth for CBU to see what these guys can bring.
That's awesome, Coach. Again, thanks for hopping on here and talking to me today. It sounds like it's only up for you guys. So can't wait to see this upcoming season. I'm sure I'll talk to you again at some point. And yeah.
No, I guess one last thing. There's going to be some coaching additions here at CBU, so keep your eyes open for that. Some exciting things coming forward.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear about it, Coach. Thanks again so much.
Appreciate it. Take care, James. Good chatting with you.
See ya.